Sweet. Teresa North.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for coming up. I mean, like not short notice kind of, but like also just end of the season, so.
Yep, tomorrow. Tomorrow's the end.
Oh, it's so wild. We were just talking about that coming so fast.
Yeah, it feels like they fly by now. I remember my first season, I was like, it's never going to end. And now I'm like, we've already been on 6 assignments.
Oh, is that how many you got in this year?
I think we got 6, and most people got 6. Some people got 5, 4. It depended on if you could go to Canada or not, since we spent half of our season there. But
I was gonna say, yeah, because that's where we left off. That's great. It's a great segue. I don't
Yeah.
do that on purpose, but
did it.
yeah, it's perfect. Because last time we talked, we left the next day, right?
Yep, we went to Alberta, and we ended up kind of linking up with Craig Hotshots up there and being a little unit. I want to say mini surge, but that's a triggering word for a lot of people.
Oh, that's the first time I've heard it. So.
Oh, you've never heard surging before?
No.
Where you don't? It's where you don't need a. Well, you need a resource order, but you don't actually mobilize into fires. So you get to fires, and you don't go to camp sometimes. Sometimes you do, just to get maps and stuff. But it's basically you're there to do one critical piece, right?
Ooh.
And maybe it's burn 9 miles or burn 7 miles, and you just get in there. It's all prepped. You burn a whole bunch, and then as soon as that's done, you just leave. And there's no demob either.
Oh wow.
It's I think you're attached to the region. Maybe is how that works. And usually they pair you up with a couple other resources. So maybe you're kind of in a strike team or a task force kind of situation with other hotshot crews or hotshots and some engines. And one time we went with Panhandle and Great Northern when they were a thing. And I think we had some engines with us, or maybe Panhandle just had an engine instead of a buggy. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, we ended up kind of mini surging with Craig to Alberta. We did one roll there in the swamps of Peace River, which was insane. I never thought I would be that north in my whole life.
Oh yeah.
And then we R&R'd in place in Edmonton. Ended up going back to the same fire, coming home, and then flying back to Quebec.
Oh whoa.
And doing 21 in Quebec almost, I think. Just with all the travel and stuff, I think it was about 20.
Oh wow.
Time we got back, yeah.
So the first roll was about 20. Then you said.
The first roll was 2 14s plus some travel days in between on the ends, and I think we took 2 R&R days instead of 3.
Oh, gotcha.
Just being on the road, but
Yeah, because I saw some photos. I thought you guys had R&R in place. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Which actually worked out really well, because had we R&R'd in place in Quebec instead of Edmonton and Alberta, we all would have been so lost for French. So it's good it ended up that way, because at least the first 2 fires were in English. And then the third time, they're all right, this is real Canadian. We're doing French now.
Whoa. I didn't even think about that. That never even crossed my mind. Got some kids trying to do some donuts here in the parking lot. It's going to be a little more high traffic area on this podcast. I don't know if that's the right car to be doing it in. It's like a Scion thing.
It's like a boxcar.
Yeah. Guess, effort for trying.
Yeah, very top heavy.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw so I've actually been to that mall there at Edmonton. Is it just the Edmonton Mall? That
Oh,
giant
yes.
one?
I think it's one of the largest malls in the world. There's a whole amusement park in there, a water park downstairs.
Yeah.
We all definitely went to that. There's
cool.
a pirate ship in there.
Whoa.
Would recommend.
That's cool. Yeah, because I think it's the first time I've ever been on a roller coaster. I went upside down. Was in that mall.
Oh, was it? Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, we didn't quite make it to the roller coasters. We got too stuck in the water park, but
I don't blame you, especially on your days off. You
Yeah.
just want to chill. I wouldn't be looking for anything kind of exciting.
You will have that with the hot shots too. Days off, time to act like we're 12.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I kind of miss it a little bit. I miss that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's probably got to be the hardest part moving on. Everyone's always I don't want to leave the crew, but XYZ.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You never want to leave the crew.
No. Oh, 100%. Yeah. And fire in general too. It's just the vibe, right? The hang. That's what I
Yeah,
always hear. The hang. You
exactly.
Don't leave the hang. And I didn't know at first. I was well, I'm still going to talk to you guys. But then, everyone's busy doing other things. So.
Oh, yeah, and everyone, shotguns out in the summer, so.
Yeah.
Good luck hitting up someone with, snail mail.
Yeah, right? You're hey, I don't know where you're at in the world, especially, in type 1 fire.
Yes.
But if you ever make it back, we should float the river or go fishing or something.
Yeah. If you feel up to it and you're not burnt to a crisp by the sun by then.
Yeah, you're doing mountain laundry or whatever else you got to do. Ugh.
At least we have 3 days now instead of 2.
That is
I'm a godsend.
Yeah, because that's so nice. Yeah, for people who don't know, that first day, at least for me, I wouldn't do anything the first day. I was just catching up on rest.
Exactly,
and eating some good food.
You're thinking about doing laundry, but you will procrastinate it a while longer.
Yeah, totally. So the second day, I'd be I got laundry day. So I spent the day day cleaning up.
But now you actually get 2 days off plus your chore day.
Oh, it's so nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you guys got to go on those cool swamp buggy things up there, right?
We did. We got to go in the Haglands and the Argos and what were the Nodwells.
I did not know there was that many of those things.
Oh yeah, they all have crazy names. All the operators, from what I can tell, are crazy as well.
Good. So that's good.
Like crazy in a good way, but
Yeah.
I was just like, "Are you smoking a cigarette in here? We don't do that in the U.S. That's crazy." Anyway.
That is, yeah.
But yeah, just like huge tracked vehicles can go through like most swamps. We did roll one on its side.
Oh.
Which is like a problem because when you're up there, like it's black spruce everywhere. So like, good luck winching out a vehicle that's several tons with black spruce.
Yeah, no hard points in black spruce. Yeah.
But we did. We made it work. Put the winch cable around a whole bunch of them.
Oh yeah, teamwork with the trees there.
And just like prayed they didn't all fall over.
Yeah. Oh.
The operator was so thankful though. He offered one of the girls on my squad 1/500th of a Bitcoin.
Oh.
And she was like, "No, I must decline." And I was like, "You should. Yeah, it's pretty good."
Yeah, I don't
know if you know how much a Bitcoin is worth these days.
I don't. I'm involved in cryptocurrency, but that's cool though. You know.
Yeah. So that was our Canada experience.
That's all. Yeah, I was getting random videos from different folks on the crew there, and just the Instagram like they're sending to me, just checking on Instagram and stuff, and it was cool, like because the first one I saw, I can't remember who it was from, but they. I think they were in like the cab with the driver. Mm-hmm. And I'm like trying to figure out like what are they in, and then they like scan back to the little like was like a little caboose thing that you guys were in.
Yeah, so like some of them are like one big vehicle. I can't remember which one's which anymore, honestly. But some of them are like disconnected, like a front cab and then like a trailer almost that's tracked as well.
Yeah.
And that's where like the crew would sit.
Oh whoa.
It had a whole bunch of windows you could like open up. So oh yes, the swamp.
Oh whoa.
See all the beavers. We did see a lot of beavers.
Like the big ones that you hear about up there, like the giant
just
beavers.
building huge dams.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, this is so Canadian.
That's so cool. Yeah. I mean, you always hear like people joking around about being like beavers the size of small black bears.
Oh yeah, like 40-pound beavers. No joke, 50-pound beavers. I was like, that's insane.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah. Oh.
But also, so was everything in Canada. Like,
right.
Their air operations are just so different. Like, we'll just land this helicopter in the middle of a not closed road.
Oh, really?
We got to talk to that guy. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I'm like, a lot of reasons. Yeah. Roads not closed mostly, but
yeah, maybe there's power lines or something else. It's kind of hazard. But
it was so
no
much adjusting to like, because we weren't only working with Canadians. Obviously, like a lot of people who went up to Canada, we were working with Koreans, which was interesting. We all learned how to say hi in Korean. I think that's as far as we got.
Yeah.
More than me. What'd you say?
So more than me.
Oh yeah. Apparently Korean's like extremely hard to speak. But like Koreans, Canadians, we had like an Australian task force. Everyone's calling things different things.
Oh man.
We got the tight guard, aka the line, the direct line. Like
I have no idea, but it's like a different language you're speaking to me right now.
Right, exactly. Like there's no like standard compliments when you're doing hose lays in Canada. Everything's just like an inline tee. You just like slap it in, like use hose clamps, like spray your friends in the face.
Yeah.
So much pressure hit me one day when I was trying to do it. It was like me and one of the seasonals trying to like break this hose that was down in a little like ravine V. Yeah. And there was just so much back pressure and we were so close to the pump. We had like 2 hose clamps on both sides of it, like wrenching on opposite threads, and it just when it finally like let loose, it sprayed me so hard in the face it like blew my nose ring out.
Whoa, that was some power.
Yeah, I was like, this is an experience.
Yeah, through the sinuses and out the mouth. You're like, tasted that water.
Yeah. First roll was great though, and then Canada kind of wore on us, so we were like super excited to get back to Montana.
I bet. Yeah, how's everyone's feed after all that? Because it's still pretty soggy up there, even though there's fires everywhere, right?
Yeah. So like honestly, when we were in Alberta, it was a lot swampier than Quebec, because Quebec was like. Think like upstate New York, like Adirondacks, like kind of country. So if you got down low, it would be super buggy and swampy, but there was like rocky knolls and stuff at least. Alberta, no topography whatsoever, just black spruce, couldn't see through it, just thicker than a dog's hair.
Yeah.
And yeah, just super swampy. We all ended up we got so much rain when we were on our fire, which are all numbered up there. They're not named. So we're on fire number whatever. I can't remember at this point. They've all blurred. Yeah. But yeah, we ended up like going into Peace River and having to buy muck boots. A full crew buying muck boots.
Oh, cool! I was getting pictures of like some stylish boots up there. Is there like a special kind of boot for sawing?
Oh yeah, so they have big steel-toed rubber orange saw boots.
That's what I saw.
That
yeah.
I've heard are highly uncomfortable. Do not come recommended by the Sawyers.
Oh, gotcha. I bet
But
they're hot.
Yeah, they were super hot, and they also didn't like cinch down at the top, so like as you were cutting, stuff would just fall in them.
Ooh.
That was like the major complaint. But
So nice, just filling your boot with sawdust.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, like anything that Hot Shots can't complain over, they will. So I like to think it gave us a bonding thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh god, poured your boot out, bunch of
Right.
debris, you know.
My pile's bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, take that.
Yeah.
That's true. It's like measuring, a weird measuring stick that people in fire have,
Right, like I suffered more today.
Yeah, exactly. Look at all the stuff I did, all the bad things that happened to me.
Yeah, but it was just like from start to finish, no matter where we were in Canada, just like an insane experience. I thought I would never have, like fighting fire in a different language. Okay.
Wow, I know. Like I'm still kind of stuck on that. So I'm like having a hard time. Like I got more questions, but I'm like, wow, like Korean and French, like holy cow.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so cool, and especially the terrain differences. I mean, that's like you went to Alaska and like you said, and New York, like upstate New York, and mixed it into one. Like that, so cool. And you guys were there twice, then you said.
Yeah, so we were in the Alaska of Canada, aka Alberta, twice, and then we did another roll in Quebec. So 3 times altogether in Canada. I think we hit like 4 or 5 different provinces just with travel and driving and going to fires.
Oh yeah, I didn't even ask. Were you guys using the Bitterroot buggies the whole time? Were you guys flying or?
Oh, so that's actually a story in itself. Our first roll we went down, and when we RNR'd in place, we had our buggies. My buggy is the oldest buggy known to man. It's built out of sticks, and we actually just run like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, everybody put your feet down.
Yeah, there's no drivetrain. I'm like, come on, guys, hill. No, but it is stick shift. Like, I don't know how many like stick shift buggies are still rolling around in the hot shot world, but
yeah, I haven't even seen one in my whole career.
Yeah, that has been like a horrifying learning curve of its own. Very humbling, I think, for everyone, because you can drive stick shift, but can you drive like big diesel truck stick shift? Probably not. It's a lot different. I walked into it very confident, did a lot of rolling backwards at first.
Yeah, just go with it.
Yeah, so like we didn't have my buggy at first because it's older than Sin, so it was getting worked on, per usual, contracted.
Yeah,
taking forever. So my squad jumps in 2 different pickups when we like got from the SO here, and apparently it was like super government, like there was like 9 miles on it when we got it, but it was like super government top secret pickup that had like sensitive information in it.
Oh.
And so, like, all of a sudden, like, you're in a different country, your phone doesn't work that well, we, like, get service, and we're all getting, like, text messages and calls about, like, who's driving the truck, like, our license numbers, like, if there's anything weird in the cab of the truck, and we're, like, ripping this truck apart, we're like, we can't find it!
Yeah, what do you need?
And, like, literally, like, our superintendent's calling people, like, seniors on the crew are calling people, because they're getting, like, calls from, like, LEOs back here, like, people from the region, like, high up people.
Oh,
and, like... No one could find it. Turns out the guy who like loaned us the truck was on vacation while this was all happening, and whatever they needed was just in his desk. He took it out before he gave us the truck. But
yeah, like normal.
Yeah, just normal Forest Service stuff.
Yeah,
where
just didn't tell anybody, but but did the right thing.
Yeah, he was like, I have the top secret information locked in my desk. Don't worry. So after about like 2.5 weeks, I think, of like every official from here all the way up to the SO panicking, we realized that it was safely in Hamilton.
Oh, good. Yeah, good.
Yeah, so we did have our rigs, to answer your question.
Yeah.
And then the third time we went up, we flew, which, you know how that always ends. You get shoved in a school bus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all the overhead and GS Fantastics got trucks, and we got shoved in a school bus, which was fine, because we had the best bus driver in the world.
Oh, awesome.
She just taught all the guys how to, like, cuss in French. I was like, they don't really need to know that.
Yeah, stop it. You're not teaching them good things here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and she would just be like, this is not my bus, and then proceed to drive it down Forest Service roads, like, 65 miles an hour, and I would just be like, seatbelts.
Yeah. Guys, hold on.
Yeah, no, Priscilla was the man for sure. School bus driver by day, firefighter driver by night, I guess.
Oh, really? That's cool. Yeah. Good combination there. Because, like, sometimes you've been on some fires, too, like, where you fly and you get this bus driver who is terrified of fire. And, like, we'll try to dump you off, like, miles away and be like, there you go get it. You're like, but no, we need to go up there.
Right? Which is, like, what our communication barrier was. Like, instead of just saying, like... So my senior was doing his crew boss training assignment when we were in Quebec, and instead... Not super great with French, but obviously, like Like, I speak French pretty well. There's another girl on my crew that's, like, very fluent in French, so we were, like, lucky as a crew to have, like, some people who could at least be like, all right, we can get around. Like, we can get gas. We can order ice cream. We can fight the fire. I'll talk to the dozer operator. Because, like, all the operators, bus drivers, anything with aviation, they didn't really speak English for the most part.
Ooh.
So, like, just imagine all of your support people around you just, like, only speak a different language. And he doesn't know this language, right? And he's doing this trainee assignment, and this is the only day our bus driver sees active fire, and of course it's smoldering, but when you're not around fire ever, like, smoldering is alarming to you because it's fire on the ground coming toward you down a hill, you know, just backing, but still.
Yeah.
And we're planning on just waiting till it, like, backs down to this road, and we're going to, like, maybe light off the road. Maybe, but we're just holding it, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, fire's backing down, and Shane goes back to the bus, and instead of saying goodbye for now, I'll be back later, he tells the bus driver goodbye forever in French.
Oh.
Just a confusion of terms. And she looks at him like, what? Goodbye forever? What do you mean? There's fire backing down towards me for the first time. Goodbye forever?
Yeah.
And then when we all explained it to each other later,
Oh.
there was much laughing. But
That's-
at the
that's what I was
moment,
wondering.
very intense.
Yeah. Did she like go to leave you guys, or was she just thinking you guys were like the last time she's gonna see you guys because you guys are gonna perish from flames?
Well, he goes goodbye forever and then walks away into the thicket of woods that has fire coming through it, and that's all she sees. So I can only imagine. But
Yeah. She's. Oh. Well, I'll see that.
yeah,
See
but
you guys.
later she was laughing her face off when I was like, it's kind of funny, right? She's like, it's funny now.
Yeah. At the time, it's like what? Oh, yeah, that'd be brutal.
Yeah.
Like I said, people don't know. I mean, you can see, like, I mean, from me to the Bitterroot's way, which is a long ways for people who can't see. It's like people don't know. I mean, they have no idea that, because you see in California, it'll just make these long runs that, you know, just jump high interstates, you know, like
Right.
8 lanes of traffic and just keep going, you know, and taking cars.
Yeah.
So, like, we don't have the understanding of, like, what's safe and what's not, you know.
Yeah, like there can be good fire. We have good fire.
Yeah, exactly. Man.
Even if it isn't a wildfire setting, there can be good that comes out of that.
Yeah.
Even if it was unplanned.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and if it's not like, nuke and everything, and it all comes back good, for the most part, I guess. Did you fight fire in Alaska then before this ever? Have you fought fire in Alaska?
So my first fire ever was in Alaska, actually.
whoa.
Yeah, I was on the Kenai Peninsula.
Oh, super cool.
Yeah, up on the Carr Street fire.
Pretty jealous though, 'cause I never made it to the Kenai. I was more in the interior.
Yeah,
So-
naturally jumping.
Yeah, kind of where they put you.
Yeah, they're like, we have hotshot crews up here. You guys are going to know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of how it was too. It's not like by Bethel or Bethel. One of those. McGrath is where
Yeah,
the
they're like,
base
it's a
was.
quaint, small village. You're
Yeah.
like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what it was. Whew. Yeah, we jumped out by like Tulasik or something like that. I'm probably
Okay.
saying it wrong, but yeah, nothing there.
Oh,
besides like an
definitely,
airstrip.
definitely saying that wrong.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
how to say it
right?
right, but definitely said that wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
So we apologize to everyone
Yeah, sorry.
out there.
Yeah, it's a great place. But,
Everyone
yeah.
there listening.
Yeah, exactly. We're tuning in, all my fans up in Alaska. I think I have like one person who's ever watched I get like the little analytics. I think it's like.
Oh, do you have like a map that
Yeah.
shows you?
That shows me all the spots.
Do you ever get like weird like satellite countries or anything?
Yeah,
It's
like
what? Like China?
yeah, Singapore and
Singapore?
yeah, and like Belgium and stuff. And I was like,
Interesting.
oh yeah, because like English is such a widespread language. It's like
Right.
you probably wouldn't have that too much here. You know,
No. No.
like oh, check out the Singapore podcast. 'Ccause I wouldn't have a clue what they're saying.
Right,
you know?
yeah. Yeah. There's no one checking out obscure podcasts from the Forest Service. I don't think, at least. For the most
Yeah,
part.
yeah, totally. So was it familiar then being in Canada, like since you had the Alaska experience?
Kind of like the fuel type, very familiar, and just the wet feet, and walking.
Oh yeah.
Everyone knows how it's hard to walk in the tundra, and you're not digging in the tundra. So I was like, oh, okay, Alaska tactics. We're doing pumps and hose lays. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Maybe firing, but yeah. So like that was all pretty familiar. All at the same time, though, like very aware you're in a different country.
Yeah, man.
Just because like things are different there. Like from the way they dress, to the way their camps are run, to the way your hours will go, to things like making your own lunch in the line in the morning, and like safety briefings. Like they have laces instead of LCES. Anchor points is in there.
Oh.
Yeah, so they use that instead, and like everything with aviation. Like they'll have you get out of helicopters and have everyone in the helicopter like bend down next to the skid, and then you look at the pilot and give the pilot a thumbs up when you have the doors closed and everyone's bent down by you, and then they give you a thumbs up back, and then they just take off.
Oh.
Because their thought is that if there's going to be, like, an accident, you're going to be outside of that circle where you could get hit with a rotor, I guess, if you're right next to the skid.
Oh.
But, I mean, I don't know. It all kind of seems like a bad deal.
Yeah,
being in a helispot or next to a rotor, if anything were to ever happen, so.
Yeah, I don't think it's a safe spot unless you're, like, by a tree or something.
Yeah,
you jump
no.
behind.
Yeah, no.
It's not, yeah, because every time I've, any of the stuff we've done with, like, helicopter crashes, do the, like, what is it? Like the 6 minutes, no, 6 minutes for safety. What's the safety briefing that we do every morning? Is it 6 minutes for safety?
Yeah.
Yeah, jeez, I've been on it this long.
Yeah.
Hey, this is good.
It's okay. Now you have to, like, download them separate. They make you go the extra step to be safe.
Yeah, 'cause, they talk about those incidents, and then they, you do, like, an incident on some other, helicopter crash. It just sounds like it just explodes and metal's everywhere. So
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, yeah. I don't know, because I mean, you took the heck of a class, right? So they say, like, it's designed to explode, like rotors go everywhere, and then you're in this little egg, and it's designed to roll down the hill so it doesn't, like, crush and kill you all. It's like it never seems to work out that way.
Well, I feel like they never say crash anytime you're doing, like, aviation at work. There was, like, hard landing. I'm like, what is the difference? There has to be a fine line here.
Yeah.
From everything that I have gathered in the last 11 seasons, which it took me 11 seasons to gather this essay, but from what I have gathered, a crash is when the skids break off the helicopter. A hard landing is when they're still intact on the helicopter.
Well, see, I didn't even know that.
I'm sure someone will be chirping at me very soon after this comes out, like, that's not that difference.
Yeah. Well, as far as we understand it right now in this moment, we'll figure it out more later.
May have made part of that up. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the fun of a podcast. So,
yeah. No one knows what you don't know until you tell them.
Yeah. Hey, I like that. It's a good message. I need that, like, right?
Yeah. It gets me through training assignments.
Yeah.
They don't know I don't know this. I'm going to try.
Yeah, exactly. Then when I don't know, I'm like, okay, help me out here.
Right, yeah.
Like,
right.
This is what I'm thinking. What are you thinking? That's usually, I'm usually, like, staring at somebody. You know, like,
and they're like, no. And you're like, yeah. Okay, your plan was my plan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. That's what I'm testing you to see what you thought. And, yeah.
Right answer, correct. It's like the superintendent of a hotshot crew. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go.
That's what we're going to do. I'm going to leave you alone. I'm out.
I got to go.
Yeah, sorry I talked to you. That's how I felt for the longest time until, like, I got a little older and more on fire. And I mean, it's just still a little intimidated. Like, if I talk to you, even Jay, Yeah. Like, I feel like Jay's looking, like, right through me.
Oh gosh, not Jawood. I feel like everyone has this idea of him where they're like, he's so mean. But I mean, he's on a hotshot crew for 1,000 years running it. So I mean, I could see where you would think that, but Jay is also, like, the nicest, like, most dadly.
He is.
Forest Service dude I think I've ever met, maybe.
Yeah, it's a different blend for me because, like, I didn't work for him, but like he really cared. Like when he asked, like, how are you? Like you could see he really cares.
Yeah.
You're
he
like,
doesn't want like a 2-second answer. He wants like a nice thought out sentence.
Yeah. Like how's things going? How you been? And then, but like I feel like if I give him an answer that isn't like a well thought out, like I think that's when he's like looking through me. I'm like, whoa, I messed up. I should have done better.
Yeah, he does this.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, 100%. I'm like, I just let him down.
Yep. I'm sorry, my morning wasn't interesting enough for you, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I just run. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I'll come back later.
No, I totally feel that though, man. I feel like honestly, like even going through like applying to jump last year and like interviewing and not getting picked up, like I was like super self-conscious about like stepping into that process even and like talking to like base managers and jumpers and like people outside of hotshotting. Like I've been a hotshot for like 6 years at that point, 7 years now, and like after this season and like stepping into like the single resource, like being away from the crew world where I was like all in the same fires as them but like off doing other things, a lot of that's changed. I think it definitely like inspires a lot of growth and confidence in people, and at least it did in me.
Yeah.
And so like moving into like this next coming up phase where like I've applied to other jobs and I know that like cycles coming around, like I feel like I have better answers now. Like I know why I want to be a jumper or a repeller and like be a single resource. I know like what sets me apart from other people. When before I was just like, I really like running.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a good answer.
I'm fit. I can dig line. I can take directions.
Right? They're like, yeah, you and everybody else. What makes you better?
I think you guys are cooler than everybody else thinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. I think that's one
You're
of my
like, I've
answers.
never seen a room of more good-looking people.
Yeah. Have I told you you're beautiful?
Yeah. Have I told you how great that color looks on you today?
Yeah, man. I mean, the parachutes and all
match
that.
your eyes.
Yeah,
match your eyes.
just gorgeous. Bring out the blue.
Exactly.
I'm kind of like low on my dehydration, so I'm
Oh my
sucking a lot
gosh,
more
me
water.
too. It's the end of season, like I'm done taking care of myself, like downhill climb where you're just like, should I eat dinner? No, I'm just gonna eat nacho cheese.
Oh man, yeah. I wonder if that's like I'm still got like in the hangover phase of that in my fire career because
Probably.
I'm in the I'm going into that mode even though I didn't do any fire. This is the first summer I never did any fire, so I guess maybe that's why. Because like same like I don't like last night I ate because I knew it was the right thing to do, but I was
Yeah.
like hungry and like I like you said I've been dehydrated lately because also I'm living in the office, so I'm just not thinking about drinking
Yeah.
water. But yeah, that's wild. But I think that's a good segue because you're saying you're going to try to make the jump here to jump.
Yeah, to like single resource
Yeah.
ish life. I mean, I know like jumping or rappelling, like either
Yeah.
way, like you're still kind of you still are attached to your crew of bros or dudes, you know, and
Yeah.
like you're still attached to your program, but like you do act in that more single resource capacity and have the ability to like go out on fires like that.
Yeah.
So just like yeah, quals wise, career wise, age wise, like
It's all lining up.
yeah, I think it's like the right time. And this summer, I listened to a different fire podcast, and they had an article that was published in Men's Health, I think.
Oh, cool.
But it was written by an Alaska smoke jumper, and it was talking about how he had kind of grown up in smoke jumping, and like it was super cool when he was leaving the lower 48 to go up there and like do like his jumping and like his rookie training like earlier on in that career when he was younger, and then like as he like got a wife, like got a house down here, like started to have kids, like had another kid, he realized that his family needed him more than his crew did.
Yeah.
And so he kind of like took a step back from that. And I think that's a big change, you know, just talking to other people who've gotten out of hot shotting that I look up to a lot. Like, no one's ever ready to leave hot shotting. Like I said about the crew, like
Yeah.
I always thought that like people just like had like a moment where they're like, nope, I'm done. Like this is my ready time to like my jump off point where I'm not don't want to be a hot shot anymore. But like now I know that doesn't really happen. Like no one's ever ready to leave,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's just the time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like your growth and fire, like you explained earlier about all these things lining up. You know, it's like once you hit kind of a growth period where you almost hit like a ceiling. If you're like, well, stay in the hot shot world, it's fun. You know, it's fun people, but it's like, you know, it's time for something new. You know, and try out a different aspect of fire. You know, because that's kind of where I was at too. Is like, well, I was looking to go hot shot. I thought hot shot first before I jumped, and I just happened to get picked up jumping first. But
Yeah.
you know, in the district life type 2 world, I was like, yeah, I think I've had all there is to see here. You know, it's time for something else. You know.
Yeah, and it's not like it's crazy because I look back at like 2020 when I came to Bitterroot and just like the amount of growth I've had as like not only a firefighter but a person in that time is amazing.
Yeah.
And I look back at those years like very fondly. I was like, I'm getting through this podcast without tearing up. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely like with a heavy heart that I go to leave the crew, but yeah, like you said, you have to keep growing. Like good enough isn't. It's not. Like you have to go new places, you have to try things and fail so you can get better. You have to learn from different people. You have to like see different horizons, different mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, 100% though.
As cliche as some of that sounds, like yeah, you get to the point where you're like, all right, I'm looking at like an IC4. How realistic is that going to be to finish on a shot crew?
Yeah, not very.
Real hard.
Yeah, it's totally really hard. Yeah, because it's just not what hot shots do.
No, you're in that long-term fire game, the big boxing, the going direct on campaign fires. You're not ICing fires. And at a certain point, like, you do just, like, have to keep pursuing being challenged. And I'm not saying hot shotting isn't challenging. Like, it will always be challenging.
Oh, yeah. different kind, though.
Yeah,
You know, like,
yeah.
physically, it's always going to be that demand, you know, and
Yeah.
mentally, too, you know, like, going to a fire and, you know, heading off in the middle of nowhere, you know, and doing those things. You just get, but you do kind of get used to it, though. You're like, I noticed.
Exactly. Like,
Doing that, yeah.
now I'm like, you see that ridge over there? That's dawn, boys. And everyone's like, no. And I just think it's funny. Like, whatever. I'll see you in the morning.
yeah, exactly.
It's like 6:30 at night.
Dawn boys. That's so awesome.
See that glow?
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, and then and you kind of have it in every aspect. Cause you know, I was jumping for 5 years, and I was getting to that point too, where it's like, all right, well, what's next? Because I think that's what a lot of us fire folks have, especially if you've been in a leadership role or taking, you know, whether it's like on a district or, you know, hot shots or, you know, like you're a squad boss for a hot shot crew.
Yeah.
That's, man, that was like, I think I told you last time, like just being friends with you, I'm like, wow, you know, it's still there's still like some of that wow factor because it was like, man, no one left the squad boss for a while, you know, and like when I was
Yeah.
coming up, and it was just like took a long time, and it was hard to get to, and
Yeah, you had to like kill your saw partner and drink their blood first, and then
yeah,
like
whole thing
Yeah.
sacrificed a
same
big
thing with
Ernie.
your squad boss.
Yeah.
You had to like physically cut people. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. The only sacrifices.
But yeah, like it used to be a game of like, you know, people get in those positions and park because they're rad and being a hotshot is awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't like, honestly, like in my opinion, I don't know if there is a cooler job than being like a squatty on a hotshot crew. Like you get to do like all the playing with the crew, but you also get to kind of know some of the things that are going on at the higher level, and you start to see the big like 3,000 mile away picture from the fire. Like this year, like this is gonna sound crazy to you, I'm sure. Like it sounds crazy to everyone. But I did a heavy equipment assignment, and I was like, oh, we're going to skid all these logs out. The Forest Service is going to, like, make money on this. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, in my head, up until that point, I suppose I just thought that maybe we left them on roads. Like, I don't know. I never thought it through, you know?
No, well, there's no reason to, because
Yeah.
I was the same way until, like, I, you know, started working with more
Mm-hmm.
people who are doing heavy equipment, and then, you know, just kind of just eavesdropping on their conversations when they were done, and not really eavesdropping, just kind of being in the plane all together and just talking about, like, what went on, and, you know, the amount of board feed and whatever else they're getting, you know, of a
Exactly.
log pile and log deck. And that's when I finally, like, clicked, like, oh, yeah, they're logging and they're going to sell it. I was like, oh, cool.
We do other things in the Forest Service.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
totally.
forgot.
Yeah, and it's like such a beneficial thing, right? Because you get a nice fuel break, you know, for fire folks, but you're saving the lumber so it gets used, so it's not just getting burned up or, you know,
Exactly,
chipped
yeah.
or something. So
Yeah, and like on the assignment that I'm talking about earlier, I got to work with a guy who's actually like a logger in the opposite of his fire season.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just like hearing his perspective on logging and fire safety and like how he's seen forest management come along from the 70s to now
yeah,
was just super interesting.
really interesting. Yeah, I'd love to kind of hear that.
Yeah.
You know, just to see how it's changed. Because, you know, you always got to, you know, the old saying, like, you got to be mindful of your past, otherwise it'll repeat itself, you know, if you
Right.
don't learn from your past. So it's like, I don't really know what was happening before my time here. So I'd like to kind of know. And
Yeah.
you know, and I think I know, like, you know, little pictures of time, little spots in time, like the, you know, the indigenous folks used to burn and do their own, like, kind of burning ops. And then you
Right,
hear about,
yeah.
like, what was it, like, the palliated woodpecker is, like, been known to
Oh,
carry,
yeah.
like, a firebrand from a burning fire into, like, you know, fuel to start to keep the fire going. Because it's,
Okay.
like, beneficial for
I've
the,
actually never heard that about the woodpeckers, but I have raked around a lot of trees for them.
Oh, yeah, see?
I thought it was just because they were like impressive looking.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I
Like
mean,
a 25-pound woodpecker.
yeah, those are
Not
huge.
really, but they are a very big bird.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering about, because our old, the old prevention fire trailer that we used to have, I don't know if you remember seeing it, but it's always parked in at the SO there, and it had a picture of a red woodpecker carrying a burning stick, and I was like, that's really cool. And I think it's like from Monty Dolek painting or something, and whoever was like standing there with me was a fuels person. They're like, yeah, that's, you know, they've been known to do that. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, really? I'm like, you imagine, like, you're digging a line, and all of a sudden you see this, like, woodpecker come cruising by with a
Yeah.
fiery stick. You're like, oh.
Like the bird's over the line.
Yeah.
Broken arrow.
Yeah, exactly. It's in the green.
Yeah.
It's in the green.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And speaking of broken arrow moments, we definitely, I mean, after coming off of Canada, coming back to Montana, we had some broken arrow moments on the Colt.
Oh, yeah, because it's different. Like, you guys had to kind of reset to lower 48 fire. Like,
Yeah. And all of a sudden, you know, you're in subalpine fur. Piss fur.
piss fur. Yeah.
And it's doing its piss fur thing where it's spotting way out in front of you or like trying to get around this little fire and it just
Yeah.
blows out and getting the black and
Yeah.
I got a different way.
Yeah,
Became a
stuff-
long night, exciting, but it's not like, you know, so much like that happened, right? And everyone like followed protocol and procedure and just kind of like kicked back on their training. They're like, okay, we'll just like go in the black, wait this out, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was like the next 7 days after that, just running into other crews because we were like spiked out too. So all the new crews coming to the line, like it was like a new rumor from every crew.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, is it true you like spent all night in the black? I'm like, absolutely not. No.
No.
We didn't do that. Like,
Yeah.
is it true your buggies are burned up? I was like, I hope not. My passport's in there.
You're like, wait a minute. The one that's stick shift that we've had forever?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm like, well, I mean, I can get a new passport.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
No, just kidding. I love my buggy. It's really grown on me.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
bet.
fungus.
Make a fun-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your fungus now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I totally get it.
I'm going to miss the guk, 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 guk.
Oh, yeah, grind it till you find it a little
It's
bit too.
good,
Oh
guys.
my God, I'm getting it. I'm getting the handle of this thing, getting the hang
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. We all got a handle on it.
Yes, yeah. Learning experience for everybody. Because, I mean, really, I mean, you probably never see a stick shift buggy again. I wouldn't.
Oh,
think,
I
at
hope
least.
not, and I wish it on no one. I wish it on no one.
Yeah.
The
That's
meanest
awesome.
thing you could wish on someone.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't even imagine, like, cause I haven't driven too much stick in a long time, but like I got an old truck that's a stick shift, and my Land Cruiser stick shift, and like when I do drive them in the mountains, like it's gonna sound really wimpy, but my clutch leg, my left leg, does get a little worn out from clutching so much because you just don't do it anymore.
Yeah, because you can't decide if you need to be in like first or second, then you throw low in there.
Yeah.
My squad really hates when I use low. It never goes well. It's very jerky.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, snappy jerky motions. It's fine. We're just getting turned around.
Hang on. Yeah, because low is always lower than you remember it being, at least for me. You know?
Yeah, and then you like got some random seasonal backing you doing their best, and you're like, I can't go that close to the edge. We got a rollback factor. Like,
yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
you got to think about stuff like that, or like other resources like pull up behind you on like a steep road. You're like, oh no, too close.
Yeah. Sorry.
Get out and tell them to back up.
Yeah. Well, we had that with some volunteer engines. Like there was, I think it was a Type 4 full, and it was a stick shift, and they're like, the volunteers like, just move it out of the way. From one of the mountain runs here in the Bitterroot, and it's like, no, we can't do that because our Type 4 was right behind it. It was like, I don't think anyone's going to be able to drive this thing. It's just going to slam into our engine.
You're going to have to do it, or else we're going to have to leave a chalk down and get a head start.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always an option. It's not like the most popular option.
I think that's what ended up happening. Yeah, so I think someone did end up like chalking it, and they for sure were like revving the shit out of it and just like dumped the clutch and just took off. I mean, it worked. So
jumped like 5 feet.
Yeah,
Before it
exactly.
actually started engaging.
Yeah, just got a nice little safe distance.
Was that the Sula engine by
No.
happenstance?
No, that was the Type 4 that's more of a Type 5 out of Steve I there.
Okay, they got a stick shift too, huh?
Yeah,
Maybe it's just like a Bitterroot thing.
that one's
like,
not stick. It's just the one the volunteer one.
Oh,
was
the
stick.
volunteer one was
Yeah,
stick.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
now I'm tracking.
At least I don't think. I've been in that engine a bunch. I think it's automatic.
Yeah, I think like the Darby Sula guys still have a stick shift.
They do, yeah, that big beast.
Yeah, but it's in the shop usually.
It is.
It likes it better in there.
It
so.
does. It knows where it's safe.
Yeah, we try to comply.
Yeah, exactly. I go home for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
We drove you one day. That's probably good for the season.
Yeah, like
Back to the shop.
I kept forgetting it existed when I was fighting Fire out of Sula because, like you said, it was always in the shop.
Yeah, you're like, better just get the pickup.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like it really matters, like being out in Darby Sula. Those guys are never using their engine anyway. They're just like, pfft, it's just another truck to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Like we'll just stare at the water from a distance and think about
Dry
using it
mop.
once in a while. Yeah,
Dry mop.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. And when that thing would show up and be back in the bay, I'd forget about it. Like, so I go like into the shop area there to grab whatever, use the bathroom, and it's like, oh, I forgot you exist.
There's a truck in here. What?
It looks really nice,
Yeah,
It's
like super shiny.
Yeah, because it never goes off
Because
road
it
anymore.
never goes off of pavement.
Yeah, poor guy, not living his dream.
Mm-hmm.
Then so I don't want to keep you too late, so I'm gonna switch gears on you real quick. That's
Okay,
cool.
yeah,
Do you have anything else to say? I don't want to like
Oh,
cut you
no.
off.
No, you know me. I can talk forever about anything.
That's true. That's why I love having you on.
It's a gift.
Yeah, it is a gift.
And
It's
a
great.
curse.
Yeah. Well, I guess last thing before I go, before we go off a topic of fire, are you shotgunning your app out like everywhere, or you got like specific spots? You don't have to tell me. But I'm just curious.
I applied to some specific spots kind of over the hill, both directions from Darby, so
Oh, nice.
while being
Yeah.
vague and still having mystery,
Yeah, I like
kind
that.
of close to Darby.
Yeah, I like that though. Like just having a little bit of mystery out there.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, like I mean, when I was putting it out in the world too, I was like, wherever I land, I got, I had my like spots, but like any good fire employee who's applying for jobs at different places, whoever calls you, that's your favorite spot.
Oh yeah,
That's
exactly.
where you're trying to go.
Exactly. And then you're like in actual like offer day, like getting multiple offers. Like, can I call you back? Give me 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hold on, I gotta speak with my spouse. That's like the
Yes.
best thing. Like,
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, I gotta speak with my spouse on this one.
Right. I'm like, I should get married so I can use that excuse.
Exactly. Well, I was using it. I didn't even have a girlfriend. I was just like, I need to talk to my spouse.
Let me speak with my partner.
Yeah, exactly. Talk to my partner real quick about
It's
this.
like your dog.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about this, buddy?
He's
Yeah.
like, Grangeville? No.
I don't. Grangeville's not good for me.
You're going to want to go to West Yellowstone.
Yeah, exactly. West is better for us. Like, all right, buddy. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't think there's a bad spot there. So I think you're in good hands wherever you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like even when I had to go places for this job that were less desirable by most people, I still like, there's always something cool about where the Forest Service is going to send you.
Yeah, that's a good point, especially like with your nature. Like you're a people person and you're a
Yeah.
positive person. I think me and you have that in common too. You know, like I end up in Winthrop, and like that wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah.
You know? Like until I started applying, and I was like, oh, NCSB. Cool. Yeah, I'll
So
check
you're
that
like,
out.
This is a place, okay.
Yeah. And I'm going there, and it's really cool because I'd never been there. I'd never had been that part of Washington ever in my life.
Yeah.
So I was like, got to see all this cool new country, got to see this really cool rad base, and had a blast, And
Yeah.
now, I've got some buddies that are still jumping there, and like it brings back the feels when they're posting pictures, like the
Oh, yeah.
the Casa leaving just like last week or the week before, I was like, oh man, cool. I remember when the Casa left when I was there,
Yeah. Just your buddies waiting on the horn.
Yeah. Oh, that horn. Oh god. It's the only thing I didn't really like. 'Cause that thing was just.
I like how you say horn to anyone who's ever jumped. And they're like, no.
Oh,
It's
God.
like the glow plugs on a buggy to hot shots. I think that is like copacetic to like the horn for jumpers. It's gotta be.
Bet, yeah. Because that damn horn at NCSB, at least in my experience, was like if you're right underneath the sucker, it just like. It just like fries your circuits. You feel like all your nerves just like zap real quick. 'Cause it's so loud. And then, but you could be in the dining hall, which is a little ways away, and not that far, but it's just good enough insulation where you hear like the faintness of the horn. You're like, we got a fire call? You like kind of like listen for a second, also like, oh shit, and then you like go sprinting towards the hangar.
I have to go.
Yeah, exactly. Go get suited up and roll. But it's also kind of cool because you're like, boogieing.
It's time.
Yeah, exactly. Just getting a go mode and roll. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm stoked for you. I think it's like you said, it's good timing, and your personality is really gonna like mesh well with that. I think too. Like that, just a little different lifestyle, seeing fire at a different angle. And doing a little bit different fire activity.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe have a little bit more family time.
Yeah, totally. Like a little more flexibility. Yeah, especially like some of the bigger bases, like. If you repel out a salmon or like jump out of Missoula, like just more numbers. So there's like a lot more flexibility. Like we're like on a shot crew or a district, especially if qual. So like, well, we kind of need you here from like July to October.
I'm like, but it's Columbus Day.
Yeah, exactly. I got plans. I was gonna go somewhere for Labor Day. Like, not this year.
Yeah, they're like,
Maybe next year. Just like you're too valuable in those smaller entities. But like in jumping and rappelling, like there's always, unless you got high enough up where you do have all the quals, and might have to stick around.
And also I'm in like this weird point where like I do want to be around a whole bunch now because like everything just feels like nostalgia. I'm like, this might be my last time waxing a buggy.
Yeah.
This might be my last time driving a buggy.
Yeah. No, that's good though to have that mindset, because then you really, like you said, soak it in and it kind of imprint in your brain. Like, oh man, good times.
Appreciating it, and like I said, I do want a single resource, but I don't think I could like ever fully give up on hot shotting again.
Yeah, that'd be hard, man. People don't get the crew life. Like I didn't hot shot, but I had the Type 2 IA life with Great Northern as a squad boss and as a crew boss later on when I went back, and both times are just so fun. You know? Like you're sharing misery with like 20 other people, like it's just amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like not a bad moment, like you were explaining earlier. Like you could be on just a real bad deal, but it's fun though because you're sharing it with other people. Like I remember.
Yeah, you're like, my armpits are bleeding. Isn't that funny? They're like really chafed.
Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious. Like poison ivy or poison oak. Like you're
I can't believe you just sat in that. People are like, what?
Oh yeah. Oh
you
man.
wouldn't believe how many people, like, especially on hotshot crews, where I'm like, you will be in the poison oak. Have no idea what poison oak looks like.
Yeah.
Like every year, I like almost have to refresh myself on it. And we have one guy from like the Midwest that I'm always just like, is that poison oak? He's like, yes, the big red vine that is poison oak.
Yeah, that's the nasty stuff there. Oh man. Yeah, and it looks a little different with dormant, but like I don't get it, so I just gotta ignore it. And when I was down south, I was looking at this tree, and then there was like a weird growth, and then I just was like kind of looking at the lean and like check, and so I was like bear hugging this tree and like, dancing around like a stripper,
doing
pretty much.
Some of the
yeah, exactly. Just rub my body all over the place.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about when you do your walk around.
Yeah, exactly.
Just lecking the shit out of that tree.
Oh yeah, I was making sure, especially because big hardwood, so it was like straight up and down. So I'm like trying to figure it out, and then
you're like, thank God, there's all this limb weight going opposite directions.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, I only can save my butt on that one. And all the local, southern boys were like, "Man, that boy must really like poison oak." And I overheard him. I was like, "What was that?" And then they're like, "That's all poison oak right there." And I was like, "Oh, great!" My face is just against it.
He had me name.
So that was great. But luckily, like I said, I don't react to it. Luckily, but
super lucky.
still like every little like twitch, anyone who's been sawing, like you just have like those little itches from like sawdust or whatever, like on your body in weird spots, and I'm like, is that it? You know?
Is that it beginning?
Yeah.
And it's always like in your sensor, like, is that it beginning in my armpit? Or does my armpit just itch?
Yeah.
And then you're like paranoid about it the rest of the day.
Yeah, like weird spots, like like on my neck or on my face. I'm like scared to scratch my face. I don't want to spread it. You know, if that's it.
Yeah, and I don't even know if that's like really a thing. I always thought like scratching it did spread it, but like apparently, like you know how it kind of like weeps, that doesn't spread it. I don't know. Someone tried to explain it to me this year. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, I just know that a lot of times it goes to like your nether regions because of the oil and the sweat just like pull it down. So like, you know, like a lot of butt cracks get filled with the poison.
Yeah, and then you're getting the shot. You're getting the steroids.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I remember like one of my friends. It was like they ended up having to get rid of his sleeping bag because like he slept in it, so all the oil was in the sleeping bag, and he had been covered in it by the second day. But like it started like his ass cheeks were just like covered.
Oh yeah, and it's always the worst. People like sit in their buggy seat and then like end up getting the shot and get better, and like we come home and they have R&R, and then we like go back on another roll and they're like driving to a new fire, sweating in their seat, and get it again from their seat.
Yeah, that oil just stays.
Oh
it's like,
yeah,
it's so hard to get rid of. Man, yeah. Well, shoot, I gotta switch gears because like I said, I don't want to keep us here too late.
Yeah, we're going to third.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna have you on another time this fall, I think, or something. Is that what you meant by a third?
Oh no, I mean like third gear.
Oh, going to third gear. Yeah, I keep kind of like tickling.
Since we're switching gears.
Yeah. I kind of teased second. We didn't really go into it. We started talking about more fire, but fitness is what I was talking about.
Fitness time.
Yeah, fitness time. Cause, I mean, you've always been like super fit, anyways, but now you're doing like some more like ultra stuff.
Yeah. So I said I signed up for an 100K, but like I'm deciding between an 150K right now. I think it kind of depends on what program I end up in.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like a little bit more realistic for like the training plan that I would have going into rappelling to do the 100K, opposed to I'd probably prefer the 50K going into jumping, just because the training I have planned for that is a little bit more intense.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of slow rolling into it now, you know, so I'm doing the PT test once a week, everyone's favorite.
Yeah. Whew.
And yeah, just starting to get back into that building phase either way, where you're trying to make yourself not skinny fat, be able to run for the first time.
Yeah. Oh man, I know that's like my life is skinny fat. You know, everyone's always like, you look like you're in great shape. Like, no, I am like horrible shape. I just stay skinny.
Yeah, you're like, I'm one bag of Doritos away from a breakdown. I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's September. I got the late season hot shot blues.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to touch on too. But God, I mean, I don't want to like skip gears too fast now that we're rolling. But,
oh, sorry.
But yeah, I mean, like that's another thing I want to talk about too. Is like the end of the hot shot blues. I just imagine, you know, like I said, I didn't do it, but like I imagine it's got to be a little worse for hot shots the end of the season, like that like end of the season breakup, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's like a combination of two really big things. It's both I am so physically and emotionally
Drained.
Exhausted because both those facets of your life are just redlined all the time, whether it's digging hotline or being big box and brushing a road to staying up weird hours driving and driving like a buggy of people, which is like emotionally stressful. Can attest. Because obviously you want the best for all of them and to keep them safe and to get them home to people who love them.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the inverse, you know, you come home and everyone's emotionally redlined because it's such a great thing. You're seeing your loved ones again, and there's so much pressure for those 3 days to be perfect and like you to not talk about work. I mean, like my partner and I try not to talk about work, although during the summer it's really hard not to.
Yeah, both being in fire.
Yeah, and just so everyone's like emotionally and physically drained, and I think that's one part of it. And then like the other part is just like you can see a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're like, I don't have to do this anymore in a week. Or at least most people. I mean, a lot of positions have been converted to like PFTs now, which in my opinion like creates kind of a whole nother unintended consequence in a way, but we'll have to see where it goes over the next couple of years.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I kind of think the same way because like it's you don't get that like release and the separation, you know, from 1,000 hours of overtime in a very short period of time. You know?
Exactly. And like all at the same time, like in addition to all of that going on, you're also leaving like the only friends and family really that you've known constantly for the last 6-7 months.
Yeah.
If you're more than like a 1039 seasonal worker, like more than 6 months, like people who you've bonded with closely, who you have gone through traumas with and have supported while they went through traumas in all the ways and all the growing pains and all the things during the summer. And all of a sudden, like, everyone just kind of shotguns out across the country, and that support system's gone.
Yeah. God, like this time of year is super hard.
Yeah.
You know, because of that.
So I think, like, I mean, especially with my squad and, like, something being, like, their last day tomorrow, like, I like to kind of group everyone up on my mods and squads the last day. And I obviously have, like, individual evals with them, and they, like, tell me that they hate me and stuff. But
Yeah.
no, just kidding. Not usually. I haven't got one of those yet. Someday.
Yeah. Just glaring at you the whole time. You're like,
why did you make me do that thing in July?
Yeah. Like, what thing? I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. I'm like, what? You need to start blacking those things out.
Yeah, exactly. Like the rest of us.
Yes, it's good for you.
Push it down.
I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
It might not be.
That's how we all deal with it.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But gosh, I've lost my train of thought.
Oh, I was just talking kind of more about like that off-season blues.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
Like,
so I like to like group everyone up on the last day, and, kind of like extend that olive branch to be like, like y'all know where I live. I'm in downtown Darby. Like doors always open. Phone calls are 2 seconds away. Even if you think it's something dumb, like I lost my cat and I'm really sad.
Yeah.
I didn't think anyone else would understand. Like be here all winter. Stop by.
Yeah, come hang.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to figure out some kind of support system like where I can help with this podcast. Kind of like cast it out a little bit. Like I even toyed around with doing like a 3-on-3 tournament, like basketball tournament at Trapper in like January. Like end of January was like the darkest.
Oh yeah, because there's no light in the canyons.
Yeah, it's just cold and not a lot to do, and just for a social thing because so many people kind of hole up in the winter and just like hang out and not do anything because they've been so busy all summer, and then sometime late winter, then start kind of kicking it back in gear to get in shape for fire season again. It's just kind of a brutal cycle.
Everyone gets the early Februarys, as I call them. Or they're like, oh man, I gotta put weight on my back and hike again.
Yeah, you gotta get the body ready.
Oh no.
Yeah, yoga's a good thing.
Yes, hot yoga is coming back around once a week at least. Can't wait.
Oh yeah, I gotta get into it because like I'll play like one hockey game and I'm just like stiff as a bowstring.
Yep.
For like a week.
And like I feel like the older I get too, the more time and effort I have to put into like active recoveries. Like I can't just like run in 100K anymore and then just like not stretch and drink beer that whole night and be fine the next day. Like I will pass away the next day if I do that. I'm drinking Gatorades and Pedialyte.
Yeah.
Like go to the store, they're like, are those for your kids? I'm like, I don't have any.
No,
They're for me.
It's all for me. Yeah, that's how it was during rookie training because it was like way too hot. So I was living off Pedialyte the whole time.
Yeah.
Because you're just sweating your ass off in the jumpsuit, all day. So it's like, I'm glad I knew about it because I don't know what I'd done. I just died.
Yeah, I don't know what people did before Pedialyte.
Yeah.
Rhabdo, I think that's what killed Rhabdo was the Pedialyte.
Yeah.
Or COVID. It was one or the other.
Something happened. There was some kind of fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of COVID, I have had this like discussion in my office with some people. Like I was like, the PFT work schedule for Hot Shots is like the COVID of work schedules. Like what COVID was it to viruses? Like it was crazy. We were all scared of it. And then like we all got it. And now it's just like a regular part of life, right? Yeah. That we like live with. And it's just how things are. Like COVID's just out there. Like the PFT, in my opinion, is like the same thing. Like none of the 18 and 8s like really want to be a PFT. It doesn't seem like everyone's really scared of it. And then like you, at some point, if you want to move up anymore, like get forced into that. And then it's just the way of life.
Yeah, exactly. That's not
it's
too
normal.
bad. Yeah, and you think about like all the annual leave you accrue, so you can take some good chunks of time off in the winter anyways then. And, you're still accruing stuff towards retirement, your TSB, all that good stuff. So like I said, like at first it's very intimidating and scary because, we all had to deal with it, me and you. And,
right.
And then once you're in it though, you're like, oh, it's not so bad.
Oh, I know. When I took my PFT, like I didn't know it was a PFT. I like took the job. Jay was like, congratulations on your PFT. I was like, what?
Yeah, where did I sign on that?
He was like, yeah, it's a PFT. I was like, oh yes, that's great. I'm gonna have to take annual for the rest of the day. Stumbled out to my car and like I was in Darby and I drove to Missoula because I was like, I'd treat myself to a movie. I'm so distraught. Yeah. Like I'm driving to Missoula and I cried the whole way. Yeah. That's 60 miles of crying.
That's a lot. Yeah.
I showed up at the movie theater. They were like, are you okay? I was like, I don't know. Give me the popcorn.
Yeah, exactly. I want the big popcorn.
But it grew on me. And now it's just a way of life is what I'm saying.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You just had to, go through that little bit of period of,
adjustment.
Yeah, adjustment. Yeah.
I was like, now I work like 95% of America.
Yeah.
All year round.
Yeah, exactly. But you just hammer a ton of hours in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah. I get to work 2 full years every year now.
Yeah. So,
yeah. But I think, just like all of that leads together, like the new pay schedules and like the regular hot shot season and then your emotional redlining and your physical redlining and your body getting broken down and you getting skinny fat and all that compiles into the late season hotshot blues, where you have this light at the end of the tunnel, like just got to make it to layoff day. And like even for me now, I'm like I just want to lay the seasonals off because they got bigger and better things to do than be here with me right now.
Yeah, go have fun while there's still some sun and some good temperature, some good weather.
I honestly think like the more years you hotshot, the easier everything gets, including that. So like, I really, really struggled with it my first couple years hotshotting in Region 4. Like I would get super depressed over the winter, and I just felt like I was like going into hotshotting. I was like, I'm gonna feel great after this. Like I'm gonna feel triumphant and like drive my truck into the sunset back to Boise when I'm done with this season, like the end of the Breakfast Club. Like
exactly. Arm up
like,
and everything.
Yeah, that's like not how it is. You know, they're like, turn your pack and get out. Yeah. And you're like, what? And I think just like realizing that like, okay, that's the reality of the situation, and like finding like ways to like handle that, whether it's like a little tradition. Like when I used to get laid off as a seasonal, I'd always make what are they, brass monkeys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd have myself like a brass monkey, like layoff day of brass monkey, and now I just like eat a whole box of donuts.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you get a Krispy Kreme, you get one of every donut, take a bite of every single one, feel terrible, but also like kind of accomplished. Because that's a lot of donuts.
There's a lot of donuts. Yeah, there's different flavors and
exactly.
Yeah, I feel bad from all the sugar, but it's all right.
I'm like, coconut. Who's putting this on donuts?
Yeah,
Monsters.
Yeah, monsters. Exactly. I never had a coconut donut.
No, you don't need it in your life.
No. I can't even think about like donut. Like it's so much sugar that just destroys me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because of my Crohn's.
Like, oh yeah, I bet immediately. I didn't even think about that.
So fast.
Yeah.
So,
ignore that those exist, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't need that. And then when the thing that you get the sugar buzz, so just you forget about the all the other stuff.
Maybe that's why I was like subconsciously doing it, because either of those things, like you're getting a mad sugar buzz. Maybe that's how I was like getting through that last day, that separation anxiety from my people.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I could see it's something for sure. And then you got like your just nomadic type personality types who are like already going to Thailand, like, all right, peace, I'm out, you know.
Yeah.
And so they adjust just fine. But then the folks who are like in the area still are like, well, yeah, all my friends are gone.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you do definitely have like those two types of people, especially hotshotting. But I do like this time of year, like hearing people plan all the trips together that they're not ever going to take.
That was me.
They're like, we're going to Japan. I like see them in April. I'm like, how was Japan? They're like, oh no, I went to Detroit instead.
Yeah, that was totally me. I'd always end up going somewhere like not fun or like less fun, I guess.
Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, Gary. Oh, man.
Not that I'm picking on either of those places.
But it's not tropical paradise.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Either one of those places.
It's not Baja.
No, exactly. Yeah, man. I know, especially for me, like the first year, I jumped all the bros that were getting laid off. We got furloughed, and it was in 13, so we all got furloughed about the same time. And those guys got like some of those BMW, like what do you call them? Like,
like Sprinter vans?
No, they were like the bikes that are like kind of like a dirt bike, but a road bike. Yeah, kind of like an enduro thing. I think there's like a different name for it, but either way, they did this cool cross country trip all the way down Baja, and I was like, man, that sounds awesome. And but at the time, I had my other trip planned with my friend Bronson and Casey, and my other buddy Matt was going to meet us there in the Bahamas. We tried to sail and we didn't make it. So.
Oh no!
Yeah, we were in the ocean, but we didn't make it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did you feel like pirates though, at least for a little while?
Yeah, for a minute. We had a ton of rum, so that was kind of helping us get through the bad time. But
and the scurvy, fighting the scurvy.
That's what they say. Rum cures it.
It's important.
So, yeah. So we lost the keel, we lost the rudder, and yeah, we're out there pretty deep. So.
Aye.
Yeah, we had a GPS going, so my friend Bronson, whose boat it was in the GPS, so he did the math, or he just like saw the track on it, and like then just like saw how far it is to like Grand Bahama or wherever our destination was, and like we would have like surpassed Grand Bahama with the amount of miles we were tooling around the ocean, just like we weren't totally stranded, but like we weren't really going anywhere because the keel was still attached to us, so it was working like a sea anchor.
Okay.
So instead of being like this way, it went this way.
Uh-oh.
So it just like pushing water. So like for people just listening, instead of being like going, the normal way it goes in the water, like where it's just like
one straight direction.
Yeah. It went sideways like a fan, like a wing, but like the fat side against the current. So like we went from going like I think somewhere between like 4 and 6 knots to 1 point something.
That ain't it.
Right away, yeah.
I'd be like, look at all this quality time we're having together though.
Man.
I always wanted to see me a nice ocean sunrise.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we
and
got.
Set.
Yeah, we were sauced by the time that sun came up, and we were trying to get it into an inlet.
So this didn't end up being like a Coast Guard situation, though?
No, we
That's
didn't have
good.
to get saved. I mean, we're fire folks, so
Right,
figure
right.
it out.
You're like, no, that'd be too embarrassing. I'm
Yeah, we
absolutely
probably
not doing
would
that.
drown first,
Yeah.
you know.
I'll let the sharks eat me first.
yeah,
I'm not.
the Bermuda Triangle before everything
Exactly.
gets bad.
And then at least I'll be a legend.
Yeah, we'll have a cooler story. You know, that's
Yeah.
what it always hangs on to.
Be in the Bermuda Triangle with Tupac.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Elvis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Biggie's probably there too. You know?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, all the legends.
They're fighting in the triangle.
Yeah, I saw this thing on like the Chive or something lately, and it was just like, growing up, I thought I was gonna have to battle with the Bermuda Triangle a lot more, or at least deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
And like that's not an issue. Like,
Yeah.
all the drugs that they kept warning me about, I haven't found those, and like
No.
all these things. Like it was like true that like the late '90s, probably all through the '90s. That's all.
Yeah.
It was like Bermuda Triangle and drugs everywhere.
401k.
Yeah.
Was that, or no, was it the Aztecs?
Yeah, the Y2K things.
Y2K, that's what I'm thinking. 401k. I'm like, retirement. We
Look
all
at
had good
you.
retirement.
Yeah, well, it's all the maturity coming through now. You know, PFTs and 401ks.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. I'm like, you all should get a
TSPs.
Roth IRA. It's good for you.
yeah, it's a good
Expand your portfolios.
move. The adult move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Well, shoot, I think we could keep talking forever, but I was gonna limit this one.
Yeah.
As
We
people
were
can
like, we're
see,
going to be
it's
short
dark.
this time.
Yeah, but I could keep talking to you for sure. But I really appreciate you coming on. And
Yeah.
if you get some time this fall, we'll have to do another one a little bit longer because I want to talk a little bit more about the fitness and
Yeah.
just more stories about Canada. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So we'll do.
I know
that.
I could talk about fitness for days, but
Yeah, that too, and like a little bit more of the mental health stuff too, because like I said, I think you got a really good handle on it, especially like offering up, folks to like reach out and just being there and available is a big deal. You know?
yeah, I think like, take care of your people goes a lot farther than you're 52. And
Yeah.
that's a good thing to remember, especially this time of the year. And,
Absolutely.
you don't know what people are walking out of your base walking into. So,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, man, it's a little public service message, I guess, just like checking on your people.
Yeah.
if you're thinking about them, call them. Like it goes a long way this time of year because people,
Yeah.
like you said, people are going into a different life and trying to navigate new waters and going from 1,000 miles an hour like a hot shot or
yes.
to nothing. So it's a big change.
Yeah, the
And-
great car crash dummies of the fire world where you're going 1,000 miles into the wall at
Yeah.
the end of the season.
Yeah, like you said, I was like, all right, well, see you next year.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Come back, but fitter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. We'll see you next year, but yeah, you better be more fit.
More fit.
Yeah, totally.
Because there's never a ceiling on it.
No, there isn't. Yeah, it can't be too fit.
Exactly.
Switch for fire.
Can't be too fit.
Yeah. Well, shoot. Thanks a lot for being here. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah. Well,
Awesome to do beginning, middle, end.
Yeah. I think it worked out really good, and so we'll do another one this fall or something.
Yeah.
Tie back in.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks, Teresa.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for everybody listening.